All right, we are recording. Ben, thank you for joining us on this call. We've been wanting to kind of have this conversation about talk with the recent success you've been having, and basically, welcome to this interview. Basically,
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
likewise. So Ben, just give us an overview about what you do, your background, and kind of how you got started on this online journey.
Yeah, sure. So it kind of started out back in 2020 when sort of COVID and lockdown was at its peak. So yeah, basically I was working a 9 to 5, and we were told to work from home. So and obviously with lockdown, I couldn't play football. I couldn't see my mates or anything like that. So I basically decided, instead of watching Netflix all day and getting fat like most people, I was going to try and sort of find something productive to do. So I stumbled across a couple of guys on Twitter who were sort of flipping products on eBay, and I started doing that. And yeah, it was fun, and sort of, yeah, I was like driving around buying hot tubs and flipping them locally and on eBay and things like that. It was very much like a side hustle instead of kind of a proper business though, and I thought it was just going to be a COVID thing. But yeah, long story short, I ended up moving over to Amazon, and with FBA it became infinitely more scalable. And yeah, I've basically been continuing growing my Amazon business and sharing my sort of journey on Twitter, and thankfully ended up getting sort of a decent sized following from that. And that's then sort of branched out into having kind of a paid group that I co-own, and also doing coaching. I've got a warehouse that people send their stock to, and we forward on to Amazon on their behalf. So yeah, kind of by accident, it's kind of grown arms and legs. And yeah, I just started on Twitter, but obviously recently reached out to you guys for help on sort of video content and short form content, and yeah, it's just continuing to grow and scale from there, really.
Yeah, it's been taken up. And before we get into the coaching aspect side of things and how you're growing really well over there, just for people who don't know what FBA is, like what's the like a 5-year-old definition of what it is? Like if I were to explain it to my mom, what is FBA exactly?
So FBA it stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, and basically instead of your your perception of kind of selling online is probably being surrounded by boxes, having to ship things out one by one, staying up till 5 a.m. in the morning. With FBA, it's not like that at all. You simply order the items online, ship it into Amazon, and they fulfill it for you via Prime delivery. So all the hard sort of manual work is taken out of that, particularly if you're using a third-party warehouse service. So yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, to a 5-year-old, it's click buttons, make sales, and make money, pretty much.
Right on. So it's basically like anyone can actually get into this business model and make a decent chunk of change with it, correct?
Yeah, 100%. You can start with as little as a few £100 or a few $100, and yeah, but the more cash you have to begin with, the more stock you can buy and the quicker you can scale up. But I know people who've started literally with no money, and they've just started selling things around their house to build up a bit of a pot, and then from there they can then start purchasing sort of new items and ship them into Amazon and sell them. And yeah, the sheer scale of Amazon is crazy. I don't know the exact stat, but it's something like 3 out of every $10 or something that's spent online is spent on Amazon. It may even be more than that. So yeah, it's a very big pie, and you can make good money just getting a very small chunk of that.
Yeah, it's a ridiculously like the target total addressable market is just so high with
Mm.
this business model itself. But let's get into a little bit about what your coaching program and your paid group and all that stuff doing. Like you have had a lot of success with Amazon FBA, and then you're kind of helping out other people now to get started with there. Tell us what that looks like, and yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I started off in a different group, Products for Profit, which was probably one of the first sort of paid groups on the sort of money Twitter side, and that was brilliant. So that was mainly a US focused group. There was a UK arm to it, which I joined and had great success from. From that, I thought there was an opportunity for a more sort of UK focused group. So that's where my UK group, All Things Arbitrage, came from. So yeah, we've been around a couple of years now, and this is basically aimed at sort of mainly kind of younger people who are maybe starting with sort of a few £100 and want to get on and get product leads, and also learn how to find items themselves, and also we send out leads to people. But unlike most groups where like an item that maybe sells 30 per month is sent out to 100 members, and then the price tanks, we raffle ours out to make sure that our members actually make money. And our members have had great success with that, and also for people who are kind of cash rich but time poor, I offer the coaching, where basically it's taken me sort of a couple of years to get where I am, where I'm making sort of a few grand a month, where most activities are outsourced. But if people have got the money and just want to basically shortcut to where I am now, I can take them there in 3 months instead of the sort of 2 years that it took me. And I wish that if I'd had the opportunity to work with someone like that when I first started, I'd be light years ahead of where I am now. So it's a great opportunity if you've got the cash, but not necessarily the time. Or
and from what we see across your following, like, people really genuinely trust you, and seems like they really want to get into it. And a lot of the times they're just like, hey, here, I just want to get started with this. Take my money and help me out. That's basically what it is, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think what differentiates me from a lot of others is that within the FBA space, there's a lot of sort of fake gurus out there who are kind of, that they maybe made a few grand in sales and basically use that to promote a course, and they don't make any money from Amazon. They just make it selling courses. But I talk the talk, but I also walk the walk. I've just December was my best ever month on Amazon. I'm very much like kind of showing that it can be done myself, as well as being able to teach people as well, because I think it's important to do both for sort of just to not come across as a bit of a scammer, really.
so many people don't do that, and that's probably the best thing, that you're in the trenches yourself. You can see what it is like, and you can share that knowledge with your students as well. So talk to us a little bit about like what you were doing on Twitter, and how you kind of wanted to get in the short form game yourself. Like, what made you want to get into kind of like video content and generating short form content?
Yeah, sure. So obviously Twitter is it's all written and it's typed out, and I've had good success with that. But I've always kind of wanted to go into short form content, particularly for the group side, because our main sort of target market is sort of like guys and girls who are sort of in college or uni, and maybe starting with a smaller amount of capital. And I mean, everyone's on TikTok and Instagram these days. I think Twitter's probably like a slightly older crowd generally, which is absolutely fine. And I've had good success from the group and getting coaching clients from there. But I always wanted to go into short form content, but didn't really know where to start. Like, I'm sort of an older guy myself. I'm in my mid 30s. I've never actually used Instagram or TikTok myself as kind of a user. So I need that sort of that hand holding to like, I don't even know how, like, when I first started with you guys, I was like, well, what's a story? What do I do? Like, literally, I mean, you've had to treat me like a 5-year-old, but it's been fantastic.
Right on. So talk about, like, the how the putting out the content has helped out in terms of like the leads that come for the coaching clients or the paid group. How has that, the content impacted? I know you've talked about like the recent problems you've been having, which is too many people coming to you to get help. So share with us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. So obviously through Twitter, obviously people can see your profile picture, but what all they're doing is they're reading text. I know you can obviously you can put videos on Twitter, but in my experience they don't seem to perform that well, unless sort of you get lucky and the algorithm hits it or whatever. But with Instagram and TikTok, firstly, it's a completely different demographic. You're reaching a whole new audience, because I've done very well over Twitter, but it's sort of your tweets sort of go out to maybe 1 to 5% of your audience if you're lucky. So I basically wanted to broaden my reach, and through Instagram and TikTok, reach a whole new target market. Because I mean, I started just sort of rehashing my tweets on Instagram, and that just didn't perform well at all, because people on these apps, they don't want to read text. They want a video, and like, if you don't get their attention within the first 2 seconds, you're done for. Basically, they're gonna scroll onto the next reel or the next video or whatever. So but being able to sort of work with people who, and yeah, like you guys as well, have got obviously really good followings on those platforms. I was keen to work with people, again, similar to myself for the Amazon side. I show that I get results through my Amazon. You guys have shown that you get results through your own TikTok and Instagram and things like that. So that's what made me really keen, because yeah, like the best way to learn how to do something is just to pay someone who's in the position you want to be in and get them to share all their secrets, basically.
Yeah, and I feel like a couple of things you mentioned is really, really important. I see a lot of people trying to go from whatever platform there are, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Facebook, and just like taking that content and just throwing it onto a short form content platform, and they bomb, right? And they don't know what's going on, why it's not working. But like you mentioned, it is, people that are there for a reason. They want captivating videos to happen, and that's what we've been kind of doing, and quite a bit of success that has come from it. So right now, you're essentially able to get a significant amount of students and paid groups coming in from the short form content itself, correct? You're talk about how your deliverability and that has been impacted by the amount of leads that are coming in, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been absolutely blown away by the interest in both the paid group and the one-to-one coaching. I think coming on video gives you an extra degree of sort of credibility, and I've noticed that the closure rate, whether it's for the coaching or for the for the group, is so much higher, because people know what you look like, they know what you sound like, they've watched you on video, they feel like they know you before they even jump on the call with you, and they've pretty much, yeah, that they're ready to, like, that they've already closed themselves effectively before you actually speak to them. And yeah, I've noticed that from moving to just like a profile pic and some text on Twitter to actually me coming across as a real person before they've even spoken to me, like it's been an absolute game changer, and the closure rate has just increased exponentially.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about the closing when it comes from video, is like they just feel like they know you for so long. I always say that the close call, the sales call has started so much before the actual sales call, that when they come in, it's just more like, okay, I'm ready to get started. So that's a really valuable aspect of it. So let's shift gears a little bit about working with Viral Girl. We've been working almost, I think, coming around like 5 or 6 months, I believe, right? It's been a while. So just tell us a little bit about how your journey has been with us, what you feel about the team. Just be as transparent as candid. So if someone else was trying to look at the work at Viral Growth, if there's anything you want to tell them as well.
Yeah, no, it is fantastic. I've been really impressed from day one, and that's why I've sort of committed for sort of the long term, because I've seen the results I can get and how professional the whole setup is. So I wasn't really sure what to expect when I first joined, but it's like you've got experts from like every step of the journey, like you guys for sort of the bigger picture kind of strategy, and then you've got like the strategists for your own content, you've got editors, you've got script, like just you've got an expert for every step of the journey. You don't even need to post yourself. So that's perfect for me, because as I've said, I'm like a boomer, so I don't even know how to use TikTok or Instagram, so but I don't need to worry about it, so it's great. Yeah, it's such a professional setup, and yeah, I don't need to worry about any of the stuff that I didn't know about before I came there. Obviously I know what I can offer and what sort of the good ways to attract people into FBA, and I just give those high level ideas, and then yeah, the my strategist comes up with the scripts, and then I do the videos, and then they get edited and captioned and all that good stuff. And yeah, I know I'm in safe hands. I can just sit back and let your team do the work, which is, yeah, just amazing. Because if I was trying to do all this myself, I would have like given up after 2 weeks or something, and wouldn't have had anywhere near the success that I've had.
Right on, and we appreciate it. The team loves working with you, man, and it's the results that come in. It's actually a huge moral boost to the team as well. They see results, they see you closing deals, they see you're succeeding, and they just want to go 10 times harder than anybody else. So that's really fantastic. So last couple of questions I have. One is, if you were to talk to yourself earlier when you hadn't started the video content, and let's say a coach was in, or a consultant was in that shoe of like they don't know if they should get started with this, what would you say, like overall, like is this something, obviously it's a positive, but is there some advice you can impart on them?
Yeah, so I mean, If you're considering it, I would just say go for it. There's nothing to lose by giving it a go. I mean, I was when I first started, I was like, my first few videos, if you go back and look at them, I was like so uncomfortable in front of a camera. Like my first video, I forgot to blink. I was just like a rabbit caught in the headlights sort of thing. But I still push the content out there and things like that. And over time, and thanks to the support of the team at Viral Growth, I've become more comfortable with that. And obviously seeing the results that I'm getting, it's a no-brainer. And yeah, I really wish I'd started a lot sooner. But yeah, like as with anything, it's like the best time to start was like a couple years ago, but the second best time is now. So yeah, just start as soon as you can. If you're considering it, get on it. And yeah, I can't think of any one better to do it through than Viral Growth.
Yeah.
Right on. Last question. 2023 is just starting out, so we have a big year. I know we're in it for the long term. We're working together. Talk to us about where you are currently in revenue terms and what your goal is for the rest of the year, and by December, what revenue goal you want to hit.
Yeah, I don't have those figures in front of me right now. I'm quite a short-term thinker. I just like, okay, I've had a good month this month. Now let's make sure we've got a good pipeline built up for sort of the following month. But now I'm doing it across kind of multiple channels. It means that I don't need to like constantly focus on one platform. So like, because I think people have got kind of wise to people who are just selling every week on Twitter, but it means I can do 1 month promoting things on Twitter, the next month might be Instagram, the next month might be TikTok, and that just keeps it consistently high without feeling like you're sort of selling out to your audience, because you have a different one across kind of all three. So yeah, I'll add up that I'm just once I get deep into something, I just like try and go all in on it. So yeah, ask me that question again at the end of the year and I'll total everything up, because at the moment I'm just in sort of build mode, and yeah, I let the numbers just sort themselves out at the end of the day. But the kind of the biggest kind of testament and testimonial to your service that I can give is that I've had a bunch of fake Instagram accounts pretend to be me. Like literally there's more popping up every week. And I mean, there's no better sign of success than that, than someone literally buying fake followers to pretend to be you. I mean, the first time it happened, I was kind of, I didn't know whether to be kind of flattered or annoyed, but now, yeah, I just see it as a massive compliment. And yeah, I mean, that it doesn't get much better than that. If people are paying money to buy fake followers to just get a snippet of your audience, that's pretty crazy.
Right on. You're achieving celebrity status in front of our own eyes.
You got recognized at football, didn't you, Ben?
Sorry?
You got recognized at football training, didn't you?
I did, yeah. That was crazy. I was like, are you Arbitrage King? And I was like, oh yeah, that was a weird moment. Yeah. I couldn't believe that.
Cool. All right, last question before we finish this up. Very straightforward answer. Would you recommend working with Viral Growth to any one of your friends or family members or other coaches out there? If so, any words for them?
So I wouldn't recommend it if you're doing FBA, because I don't want the competition. But if you're in any other niche, absolutely, yeah. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you guys, and really happy to have like committed long term. I'm really excited. So yeah, I hit 10K on Instagram within a couple of months once we started getting the content out regularly, and yeah, really excited to see where I end up at the end of the year. And yeah, I literally couldn't recommend it more.
Okay, awesome. By the end of the year, we'll have some real good numbers. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, Ben. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate this. Let's keep this going, and we have a really good year in front of us, and I'm sure we'll crush any revenue number that comes up down the line, and then some. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks so much. Thanks, guys. See you.
Bye.
Thank you.